This is Professor Charlie Evans, and a few words today about your final exam in History 111. So these remarks are also applicable to 101 Western Civ. The first thing, before I even talk about the final exam essay, as you prepare for the final exam, make sure that you double check testing center hours and availability, and that you get to the testing center with plenty of time. You don't want to plan on taking an exam and getting to the testing center with just a half an hour or an hour left. They won't let you take the exam. So make sure you know when the testing centers are open and that you have plenty of time to take the exam. And also, you don't have to wait to the last day that the exam is due to take the exam. Believe me, problems happen all the time when you do that. Take the exam a week ahead of time, 3 days ahead of time, 4 days ahead of time, and you're going to be better off. You're not going to be in there with a crush of people. It's going to make a much more relaxed testing experience for you. The final exam, final essay deals with the log of Columbus's expeditions to the New World. And so specifically the essay question to the excerpts from Columbus's log. You'll have a copy of the excerpts with you in the testing center, so you don't have to memorize them or try to remember everything that's in there. Do the excerpts from Columbus's log provide us with any useful information about the native societies of these islands? Now, it's really important that you organize your essay. Write it out ahead of time. Write it out 2 times ahead of time, 3 times ahead of time, so you know how you're going to approach and write the essay. Don't go into the exam for the first time and start working on the essay. Prepare yourself ahead of time. Now, I came across this artistic depiction of the Columbus landing in the New World. And of course, there were no artists along with Columbus on the voyage who were there to paint this picture. And of course, this is well before photography or video cameras or anything. So we have no real illustration of what happened when Columbus reached land in the Caribbean. But the picture gives you a couple really clear ideas of what was important to Columbus and the Spaniards, and these are ideas which probably should be in your essay. And the first thing that you notice is the prominent position of the, if you want to call him a priest, a friar, a missionary, the religious figure holding the cross aloft there and everything. Christianity and the spread of Christianity was an important motive for undertaking the voyages to the New World. And then also you see Columbus, sword on the ground, raising the flag of Isabella in Spain there. And you also see the guy over there to the right, bent over, kind of sweeping the ground into his lap there. The conquest of territory was also really important to the Spaniards. And you see who's not really prominently depicted in the whole image are the natives. Natives are kind of like over to the side in the shadows, half naked or fully naked. It's really hard to tell. But the natives were really completely unimportant to the initial motives of Columbus and his Spaniard explorers. And so the picture gives us a lot of different ideas. Reading the log itself gives you some impressions of what Columbus was after. And the other interesting thing about the log, of course, is that Columbus was a pretty much a neutral observer to what he discovered and the native society that he came across in the Caribbean. And there wasn't a whole lot of prejudice or bias or racial intolerance or racial portrayals are originally in what Columbus recorded. My feeling is that that develops over the decades that followed, but it's not there in the initial log. So read the log, prepare your essay ahead of time, and you'll do well in an exam. Make sure you give yourself plenty of time. If you have any questions at any time, always contact your instructor before you go in to take the exam. Okay, good luck.